Tech Byte Tips. Hello and welcome to another Tech Byte Tips video. This time we're going to be talking about multi-streaming with Raspberry Pi to different streaming platforms. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're a streamer, this application that I'm going to provide you is going to make it easier to set up your Raspberry Pi to be able to do your stream to multiple services without having to pay extra to unlock features that your device should be able to have. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to stream from our computer into our Raspberry Pi, and our Raspberry Pi is going to broadcast that stream to multiple streaming providers so that your stream can be viewed at the same time in providers like Twitch, Kick, Facebook, YouTube, for example. I hope you find it useful. If you do, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know that you like it so that I can do more things like this that you might enjoy in the future. Thank you very much. Let's get to it. So this is what happens when we are going to stream from our Raspberry Pi StreamBox. In this case, we're talking about the unsecured streaming to one streaming service. In that specific case, when we start to stream, our streaming computer is going to send that RTMP stream to the Raspberry Pi, specifying to which service we're going to stream. In this case, it says we're going to stream to the Twitch platform, and the Raspberry Pi receives that stream and using Nginx, then broadcasts that through the internet and it gets to the Twitch TV website where then people can watch our stream. Now, we can also do an unsecured stream to multiple streaming services if we configure them in the application. So let's say for this case, we're going to stream to 3 services, right? So, but it's going to be when we select the option all. So when we start streaming, we make sure that our streaming computer points to the Pi IP but saying /all. And we have enabled 3 of those. So then the Raspberry Pi's Nginx web server grabs that RTMP and broadcasts it on the internet to to the 3 platforms at the same time. In this case, we had configured YouTube, Twitch, and Trovo. So it goes at the same time to the 3 platforms, and people can watch that stream in the 3 places at the same time. Then we have the option of secure streaming to only one service. It's basically the same thing, but there's an extra step that goes in here. So when our computer points to a Raspberry Pi saying that we need to point to Twitch, but we have already configured Twitch in our Raspberry Pi StreamBox server to be secured, then this is what happens. The Nginx web server sends that traffic locally to Tunnel, and Secure Tunnel envelops that stream in a secure socket layer connection, and then it goes ahead and sends that over the internet to Twitch, and then people can see that using Twitch. But the whole transfer of that stream was secured. Well, in this case, that wouldn't be the case with Twitch because they haven't enabled it yet, as far as I know, but this is just an example. And if we were going to do the same thing, but for multiple services in a secured way, it will be the same way. The computer would send that stream to the Raspberry Pi StreamBox saying send it to all, and then all the platforms that we have enabled are going to be the target. So then Nginx transmits that locally, and then S-Tunnel puts that in a secure connection and then sends it to the services that we have specified, which in this case it was Facebook, Twitch, and Kick. So it's sent at the same time securely, and people can watch the streams in any of those enabled services. Installing the Raspberry Pi StreamBox server is pretty simple, which is go into the terminal for our Raspberry Pi, and we first clone it doing the git clone, HTTPS, and the rest of the link that is going to be in the description below. Alright, so we now can go into that folder, make sure that we make the application file executable. Alright, now it's executable. And now we can do the sudo and then run. And we are given the user interface for the Raspberry Pi StreamBox server. And we go here and select option number 1, which is install. It'll start by updating the list of packages in our Raspberry Pi. Here we're going to be following things that will happen in the background, like installation of services that it's going to use. And it went ahead and upgraded the packages and the system, and now it's installing the Nginx dependencies. And it has grabbed the latest RTMP module for Nginx, and it's prompting us for which version of Nginx we want to install. So we go into this URL, we go into our browser and put that in there. We're going to find the latest version, or whichever version that we want to install, preferably the latest. So if we go by date, I think it was 123. Yeah, 2023 is the latest. So 123.4 is the latest. So that's what we're going to use for our installation. We come back here and we provide that information. Press enter, and then it'll go ahead and install the Nginx source files. It'll extract that. It'll configure Nginx for compilation. This process takes a good amount of time, so we're going to come back after it is done, because it can be quite a while, so you have to be patient. Now we are proceeding to install Nginx and remove any unnecessary packages. Also to clean up the downloads. Now it is setting up the Nginx service to auto start whenever we boot the Pi. Perfect. Now it has created the configuration files that are necessary. So now it's prompting us for a secret for the connections that we established using the S-tunnel. It has to be like a username and a password that is going to be used whenever we establish a connection to the streaming platform, so that nobody can try to do like a man-in-the-middle attack. So it's anything you can put in there. So let's put a random value for now. And then it prompts us for a password too, but it has to be a pretty long one. It has to be 16 bytes. So let's make sure we put something here that is pretty decent. So let's put something long. You don't see it because it's a secret, so but it's actually grabbing what you're typing. So it has created a configuration file that has the details of which platforms we have set up or not, and it's starting the Nginx service. While this goes on, we can check that the Nginx folder was created in the etc directory, so now it has all the configuration there. If we open the Nginx conf, it has a basic RTMP configuration that we're going to populate later. So basically it's if we want to stream to all the services at the same time, it has something configured, and we can go only streaming to one specific platform if we want. Then alright, the installation is completed, so now we're good, and we need to validate also that tunnel is here. Okay, it is created, and we have that file with the secrets that we were prompted for. This is what I put just as a sample. Make sure that the password is pretty long, because Stunel complains if it's not long enough and it doesn't run. So if you get that error when it tries to run, it's because it was too small. You have to come here and update this to be a longer password there. And this is a basic Stunel configuration that says, any file that's in the confd folder, make sure to use it also as a configuration, specifies other details. And if we go into the confd, then we have our basic services configured. So this is just like a placeholder, because when we set them up, everything is changed according to what you provide. And that is basically it when it comes for the files. Everything seems to be working. We can validate here by checking the status. For example, for Nginx, it's running, and for Stunel, it is also running, so everything looks good. Now that we have installed all the necessary stuff for our Raspberry Pi StreamBox, we can go ahead and configure our platform services where we want to stream. So we can go into option 3 to do that. But first, let's check here that our Nginx configuration file is raw, is blank, so it doesn't have any details there. And we'll see what happens to this configuration file when we modify our platforms. So we go into option 3, we press enter, and let's say we want to configure YouTube. We want to stream to YouTube, so we select option number 1, and then it prompts us for the YouTube streaming URL. Here's an example that I found for YouTube. I don't know if it's the same for everybody, so always check with your streaming provider which URL you are supposed to use, and then just type it in here. Should be RTMP, but for here I'm gonna make it something else, just so that we can see it clearly here in the changes. So I'm gonna say youtube.com/live2. Usually ends with a slash for all of them, so make sure you have that slash in there. And now it says, is this a secure RTMP URL or not? In this case, we're going to start with a non-secure RTMP URL, so we say no. And then it prompts us for a stream key. You should have your own stream key from YouTube, so that's what you would be putting here. In this case, I'm just going to put some random words. Something YouTube. So now we're good to see what happened in our configuration file. If we check here, our YouTube details were populated with the non-secure RTMP URL that we provided, including our streaming key. And that's for the all, if we want to stream to all of them, but also if we only want to stream to YouTube, that's already been populated and it's ready for it to be streaming to YouTube. Now, here we get prompted again if we want to add another platform. Let's say we want to add another one, yes. And we want to add Twitch. So again, we specified a URL, ends with a slash. This case is not secure, and our key will be there. So now it's restarting the services, and we can check again that the Twitch that was blank should now be populated with details. So RTMP for Twitch with our key for only Twitch and for all the platforms. So now both platforms should be streamed to at the same time if we select all, and if we select Twitch or YouTube, it's going to stream to only one of them according to what we choose. Now, what happens if we want to use an RTMP-S, a secure connection? For example, Facebook uses a secure one, Kik uses a secure one, Instagram and Cloudflare use a secure one. Right now, Trovo and Twitch do not have a secure RTMP URL, but eventually I hope they will, because that's a way to protect your credentials and to protect yourself from man-in-the-middle attacks. So let's go and assume that we're gonna also stream to Kick. So number 4, and then we do RTMPS because this is secure, and then kick.com, let's say app slash, and then this is a secure RTMPS, so we say yes, and this is important, right? In here, Kick currently has this, right? It's going to be updated with information that we provide. Let me just skip it here so that we can see it later and see the changes that happen to that. And here, Kick doesn't have anything so far, right? So yes, it is secure. Now we put the key, and now if you notice, it's telling Nginx to point to localhost instead of our URL that we gave it, right? That's because it's a secure stream, right? But the RTMP module in Nginx currently doesn't know how to handle secure ones. So what we need to do is we need to use secure tunnel to envelop that connection in a secure socket layer connection. So we are sending that stream to S-tunnel, which is listening on this port for that service, and this is what we're going to put in the S-tunnel configuration. So if you see here, we have this before for Kick. So if we open Kick now, look at the difference. Now we're pointing at 127.0.0.1 to accept the stream locally, and then we are going to forward that to the URL that we specified in here, which is kick.com. And so that's the difference that I wanted everybody to see. And then in here we also have another difference. Now we have in the Kick configuration saying stream locally to this port using the key. And then S-tunnel is going to envelop that and send it to the appropriate place. It works for also when you're streaming to all applications, so it should work now for YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. And it's basically the same for all the platforms that you have available here. You just have to make sure that you have the appropriate URL for your platform and your key. Okay, it's time to do a test. Let's try to do a stream. But first we need to configure here that we're going to stream to a destination that is custom. So that's the address of our Raspberry Pi. So in here we're going to select custom streaming server, and then we're going to put the URL here, which should be, if I'm not mistaken, RTMP, and then the IP of the Raspberry Pi. And then slash, we're going to specify to which service we're going to stream. Let's do a test with Twitch. So we put /Twitch. You need to specify some stream key. It cannot be blank. So make sure to put just something in there. And select done. And then let's just confirm here that nothing is being streamed. So this is my gaming channel. If you want to follow, here it is, Hicotea Epileptica. So feel free to follow if you like gaming. So let's try to see if that gets triggered to the stream. So we go here, let's change this to just chatting. Alright, we're not gonna put that on Twitter. So then let's click on confirm and go live. Seems like it went through, and we can check here, and it is. As you can see, our stream is going right now. We're live in Twitch. So yep, we can see it going on. We're live, and it's only on Twitch. If I go into Trovo, for example, there's nothing going on with Trovo because I specified Twitch. And let's check here quickly how much is our Raspberry Pi using. It's not a lot. CPU like 30%, not that bad. So yeah, we just confirmed that we can stream to Twitch alone. Let's end that stream, validate that we're done here. All right, stream is offline now. And let's try to go to Trovo instead. So we go into the stream, we select here Trovo, done, and we go live. Confirm and go live. Starts transmission, looks like it's okay. We go here into Trovo. It says we're live, and here it is. We can see our stream, 1080p, everything looking good. 12 seconds so far. And we can check here again that our Raspberry Pi is doing well with the stream. So that's good. This is a 1B. So our Raspberry Pi 1B is doing pretty good. And yes, so we have successfully streamed to Trovo, and we can check that nothing is going to Twitch. So Twitch is offline. Now let's end this transmission. And let's try to do a stream to both Trovo and Twitch. Actually, I think I have configured Kick also, so that would be good to try. Okay, so I have my Trovo URL here. Feel free to add me there too if you want. I also do YouTube. So let's try that. We go back here. We change the stream to be all instead of just one. Select done, and then we go live. Okay, now it worked. Sometimes you need to just restart the application when it doesn't want to work. So now here we are in Kick. Oh, there we go. Now it's live in Kick. So we're good. There we go. All right, I can hear the audio. Everything looks good. So that's fine. And we go check here. We're also live on Trovo. So that's working here too. And let's check Twitch. We refresh here, we're also live on Twitch. So as you can see, you can multi-stream with a Raspberry Pi. And let's end this now. Successful test. Now we have configured some providers. We have an option here, number 4, to view which of these providers that we have available are actually configured and which are not, so that when we select to stream to all of them, we know which ones are going to be actually getting a stream. So we go into option number 4 and press enter, and that's going to read our configuration file, which we use to keep track of what we have configured or not. And as we can see here, we have YouTube, Twitch, and Kick configured. The others are not. So if we say stream to all, it's going to do a stream to those 3. Now we also have the option to disable the platform. So let's go into option number 5. We currently know that we have YouTube, Twitch, and Kick configured. So let's say we want to disable YouTube, right? We want to stream only to Twitch and Kick tonight. So we're going to go here, select YouTube, and then it's just going to disable the the YouTube configuration. So if we go here again and we look at the file, we see that YouTube details were deleted, so that's no longer going to be used to stream. So we're down to Twitch and Kick. So you can easily change where you want to stream by using the application. To uninstall the Raspberry Pi StreamBox server, we just go into the option number 2, and it'll start removing the Nginx service. And as we can see here, we have files that should be cleared out, so that's why we have this folder here. But let's wait until it performs its actions. And then it proceeds to remove the Nginx service, so it doesn't try to start it automatically when we boot the Raspberry Pi. Okay, that is done now. Then uninstalls Nginx, and as you can see, a folder disappeared from here. So now we don't have the Nginx folder. It's no longer here. It's uninstalling dependencies. One of those dependencies is the tunnel, secure tunnel. So it's currently uninstalling that. Now it's removing unused packages that were left. Removing leftover files, and as we can see, tunnel disappeared. So we no longer have anything related to tunnel either, and the uninstall is complete. Now we have a Raspberry Pi that is back to scratch.